0940. This may help me with my problem, Louie, my big dilemma of the weekend.
I'm hoping that's why I went and got him.
Okay, and yesterday we kind of struck out with the gentleman that we had from the Indianapolis Colts. But in general, these guys from NFL Cover 32 have been doing a fine job for us. And we welcome to the airwaves from Kansas City and NFL Cover 32, Farzin Vousoughian, who joins us now on 940 WINZ Sports Animal. Did we get that right? Any relation to Ozzie Guillen? I guess you get that a lot, no?
No relation to him, but you got it right. How are you guys this morning?
We're having a great time, too, because everybody's euphoric here in town. We forgot, the Dolphins on that 3-game skid. But you guys in Kansas City, the Chiefs off to a remarkable start. No one could have seen this coming, I know, but, what are your thoughts about this 7-0 beginning to the season?
Looking at the team before the season started, I thought this would be a 500 team at best, and they're one game away from matching that total. And a lot of people kind of had them at 500. Obviously, only 2 wins last year. They had some talent on the team, hence why they sent 6 players to the Pro Bowl. But they were missing some big pieces. They were missing a quarterback when they had Matt Castle. Now they've got Alex Smith. Romeo Crennel, as great of a defensive mind of a coach he is, I mean, the team was a disaster coaching-wise, and now here's Andy Reid, and he brought in his coaching staff. I mean, the players are playing so well, and Tom Bahali, the outside linebacker, who's one of the league leaders in sacks, said, hey, it's coaching, I promise you. And you can see it because a lot of they only changed 5 starters on offense and only 3 on defense. They've got virtually the same players coming back, and the players are doing so well, and you've got to give credit to the coaches. They've really done a great job revamping this franchise, and you can see right now they've got the best record in the NFL, and fans are just really excited about this team right now.
Well, as they should be, and also giving up the least number of points defensively, which is no small accomplishment.
Yeah, the defense is just scary. I mean, this is one of the best defenses I've ever seen. They lead the league in sacks and turnover, or takeaways, I should say. Tom Bahali and Justin Houston, they're the top 2 players in the NFL when it comes to quarterback pressures. I mean, when you've got 2 players that are in the top 5 in sacks and just dominating when it comes to applying pressure, you've got a really special group of defensive players right there. The Chiefs sent 3 players to the Pro Bowl last year. They also have Derek Johnson, who's just an incredible linebacker. He's really evolved the past couple of years, especially when he played under Romeo Crennel's defense when he was the defensive coordinator. Dontari Poe, a guy up the middle who's really stepped up. Tyson Jackson, who was drafted number 3 overall in 2009. Everyone labeled him as a bust, and this guy's really stepped up at the left defensive end. The defensive line is playing a lot better, and I don't think we've seen a defense like this since the 90s when the Chiefs had Derek Thomas and Neil Smith, so it's really good seeing this defense play at a high level. They've really carried this team. Hopefully the offense can get going, too, so that way they can have a more balanced team to finish the season.
We know NFL, according to the great Jerry Glanville, stands for not for long, and we do see so many short-term streaks, both ups and downs for all teams, even the teams at the top. Was that an indicator last week, the struggles against the Texans, that maybe the Kansas City's coming back to the pack a little bit?
I've discussed this with a few people. I mean, the Chiefs have had some issues on offense. They haven't been perfect in that area. I mean, if you watch them play-by-play, you'll see a lot of issues, a lot of 3-and-outs. They've done a good job of not turning the ball over. I'll put it that way. But, the game of football is like that sometimes. You go through that tough stretch. And you give credit to Case Keenum, the quarterback of the Texans. I mean, this guy came to play, and I thought the Chiefs were just going to eat this guy for lunch. And he really got at it early with this team, and I think the offense is not where it needs to be. I mean, let's put it that way. For a 7-0 team, I think the Chiefs are a little fortunate to be at 7-0, given how the offense is. They've only got one big playmaker in Jamal Charles. They're still missing some guys in Dwayne Bowe. He hasn't been very consistent. They've had so many injuries at tight ends. They've used 4 different guys throughout the season. I think the Chiefs are going to be able to stay where they are. Hopefully they'll overcome some of these woes and remain on the top tier of the NFL.
Done with Farzin Vousoughian, who works for NFL Cover 32 out of Kansas City. Did anybody bring this up? Because it was killing me. And maybe have some time before they get underway with the Browns on Sunday. If you can ask Andy Reid this question, why did he have to take a knee when we needed to cover 6 and a hook against the Texans?
I was watching that game, and as a fan watching it, that was the most stressful game, and I think I can speak for every single fan there. I think at that point, given the roller coaster of emotions in that game, I think Chiefs fans were just happy to pick up the win. Of course, everyone in Vegas was really hoping to punch it in. Derek Johnson did go into the end zone. He thought he didn't think it was down. He thought he could have still kept going. I'm sure a lot of people in Vegas would have loved to get that cover, but I think the Chiefs wanted to wrap that game up. They had some issues in the game, and everyone was just happy to pick up the win.
All right, I'm debating this. Let's see how you feel about it. I could take the Patriots to beat the Dolphins or the Chiefs to beat the Browns. What is the most likely to happen? This is for suicide pool purposes.
That's pretty tough.
I mean, is this game a certainty? The Browns, after winning the 3 in a row, seem to be in decline again.
I'll go with the Chiefs beating the Browns, and the reason I say that is because Brandon Weeden, and he's not the most reliable quarterback for Cleveland, obviously. Whereas Kansas City, I mean, they're going to bring that pass rush, as I mentioned, with Holly and Houston and other guys who can really step up. I think those guys are really going to just give him a lot of trouble in the game. Hence why Kansas City, I think, will have one of their better games offensively, hopefully at least, because they've got to get going. And I think this is the game where they can really do that and just kind of blow out the Browns, at least in the second half. I think the defense is going to be a big factor in that.
I think all you need to know about the Browns is that Jeff Garcia actually thought he had a chance to get a job there as quarterback.
Yeah, I heard.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. I mean, you can't reek of desperation any more than the fact that somebody took his call. And he was able to establish that that's what he was calling about. Hadn't thrown a pass in the NFL since 2008. All right, tell us a little bit about Alex Smith, because this guy's always the forgotten man. Looked like a stiff. Was on our all-Dolly Parton team as one of the biggest busts in draft history of any sport, for that matter, as the number 1 overall pick with San Francisco. Looked like he was going downhill. Then just to add insult to injury, Aaron Rodgers turns out to be a superstar, the other guy that he was linked to in that particular year's draft. He establishes himself under Jim Harbaugh as a credible quarterback and, at least not a stone-faced loser, and comes to Kansas City, and all of a sudden the team's unbeaten. So how would you characterize what Alex Smith has done this year and in his career?
I remember when the week there were all these rumors that Alex Smith would be traded. I mean, there was some people said that he was criticized for his toughness when he played under Mike Singletary, but I mean, just look at his numbers. I was looking this up earlier this week. He is 27-5-1 since 2011. Now, obviously, last year he didn't play some games due to injury, and this year we're only almost halfway through the season. The thing that I love so much about Alex Smith is he does a tremendous job of taking care of the football. He limits his mistakes. I think that's the best way to put it with Alex Smith. And I mean, the way he's playing right now, we talked about last year, what he went through with San Francisco, just really the ups and downs, and then once again going down again in San Francisco. I think the incredible story for Alex Smith is he suffered that injury. He lost his job to Colin Kaepernick, and he had to watch the team from the sideline go play in the Super Bowl. I mean, that's really got an igniting fire under his tail right there. And he comes to Kansas City, just does a tremendous job, and you're playing a really smart. Really. I mean, he's a really good offensive guy, a great game manager, especially in the fourth quarter. That's really when Kansas City's offense gets going, and the players really love playing for him. I mean, the team really looks good with Alex Smith under center, far better than last year when they were turning the ball over excessively, and Alex Smith has really turned that around, and that was really the big piece they were missing personnel-wise on the team last year, and Alex Smith has done a really good job filling that void.
All right, been exciting so far. Only unbeaten team. Guess everybody around town here that used to play for the 72 Fins waiting for Kansas City to get knocked off and start pouring a champagne. That hasn't happened yet. The one big goose egg in the loss column, Kansas City Chiefs. Farzin, thanks so much for being with us.
You bet, guys. Thanks for having me.
All right, thanks a lot. Did you redeem yourself there a little bit, Luby, after yesterday's debacle?
You have a different standard.
Farzin Vousoughian. That's an Armenian name. You may wrote it out like it was Spanish here, like it was Ozzie Guillen's brother.
Because the way it is spelled, you would not have gotten it right ever.
With the Jian at the end?
Ghian, and that just Gian. You want to say Gian when I read that.
No, I'm familiar with that because my roommate in college is the great Ralph Yagjian. He was a draft pick, I believe, of the Red Sox. And I don't know, so I got familiar with the whole Armenian thing. 866-801-0940. on the phone lines. 866 irrelevant facts that come up during the
Sure,
course
you have
of
a lot of them.
4-hour rambling talk show. 866-801-0940. Do you agree with them, people? What do you feel safer with? If you were me, suicide pool standards here. Kansas City Chiefs over the Cleveland Browns, who appear to be dissipating again back into what they were in the first 3 weeks of the season. Or New England Patriots over your Miami Dolphins. Are the Dolphins more likely to pull a surprise than the Browns in Kansas City? Back with more in a moment. Now that.